like to welcome everyone to the Emmaus Borough Council meeting at our new Borough Council chambers. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we'll have personal appeals part 1. If there's anyone with a personal appeal, please approach the podium and sign in, and you have 5 minutes for your appeal. Are you able to hear me? Is it all right?
This pen doesn't work.
You got to push hard. That's from 1962.
Hi, my name is Gene Clock. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
My purpose for being here tonight is to invite you personally and our community to the Harvest Festival at the Canals Homestead. Coming up on Saturday, September 16th. We have 40 vendors, food trucks, horse and wagon rides, a live band. It's gonna be a fun day. There will be a half-page ad in the East Bend Press and a parking place tomorrow and next week. We invite you all to be there. It'll be a fun day. We would love to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with a personal appeal? Do we have any virtual guests?
We have one that just logged in, but
All right, so we will unmute our virtual guests, and if anyone has a personal appeal, you'll have to speak up and just state your name and where you're from and what your appeal is.
they just logged off.
Oh, they just logged off. Okay, so we have no guests. All right, that leads us to a community minute. Does anyone have anything to bring forward?
Mr. President, thank you. I just wanted to remind everyone that also the same day, September 16th, is the Emmaus Heritage Festival happening. That is in conjunction with all the 3 historic sites, the library, Emmaus Main Street Partners, God's Acre Moravian Church, and it will be held at the Historical Society from 11 to 3.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. President, that same day, we'll also have our community dumpster day, and that will be over at the fire training grounds starting in the morning.
Thank you. For the record, Councilman Crane arrived at 6:04. All right. Do you have anything for a community minute, Chris? All right. I would just like to mention, I saw in the paper that Sergeant Dean Weber, who retired in 1993, he served this community as a police officer for 28 years, and he passed away this past week. So condolences to the family, friends, and those who he served with. So sad to hear that. All right, under special presentations, we have a new canine presentation by the Lions Club. I don't know who's presenting,
We'll bring the chief. We'll bring the chief up first.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Tonight is now doesn't sound so loud. Back there, it sounded loud. So this is a very special night tonight. Obviously, we're in the new building here, which is fantastic. But it's my pleasure to introduce Sergeant Adam Polster and his partner, Leo. Ronnie, our past K9, retired as of August 17th. And Leo and Adam went into service together on Friday, August 18th, after 2 months of training and certifications. So we wanted to introduce them. They've been serving for the last couple of weeks together. Do you have any to say about your partner?
I think I talked to you about he's a 1-year-old Belgian Malinois with purpose, full work, and good temperament, create a home with place, kids, makes it a lot easier. Looking forward to the next 20 years.
Yep, looking forward to a good long service.
So I'll tell you, Ronnie's first day here, he bit the chief. I'm just wondering if,
That did not happen. No. As you can see.
well, I mean, the former chief deserved it.
How many former?
This was the first one I was able to represent.
It was not the last one. It was the one before it.
So in that, I want to comment, this program has been going on, many of you may already know, since I believe 1990, with Dave Faust and Honko as the first canine. Now this is number 8. And this is only possible because of the cooperation, the support, the dedication by the Emmaus Lions Club that have, from the beginning for the last 30 some years, has made it their dedication to pay for the dog and the training of the dog. And we're here tonight again that they have funds to present to Borough Council for the training and certification and the purchase of Leo.
I'm Henry Heil from the Emmaus Lions Club. I'm chairman of the committee that takes care, well, the Drug Awareness Committee, who initiates the dog program. And I'd like to present the borough with a check for $16,250 for the new canine named Leo.
We put it back on the back. Yeah. Are you bringing everyone over? Yeah. The holy hands. The other one. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yours doesn't look as funny. Exactly. Make sure it goes down. Hey, make it stop here.
I keep getting yelled at by council. It's a terrible idea that they. I'm used to it for every municipality. I get yelled at all the time. I will. Thank you. Take care. Yeah, it turned out nicely, didn't it?
Many years in the making, you'll be here long after we're gone. Hey,
do that.
behave.
Don't do that.
That was a good deal. Don't be starting on that. We made money on that. It was all your fault.
That was weird. He was like literally sitting in the seat next to me. Then he stood up like, oh, Tom. It's judge or your honor. You just say what you know in public.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
See you tomorrow.
That's exactly the point. Councilman.
See this.
It is. It is. Actually, I used it today to try to turn that thing off.
All right.
He can't see it.
We will move on with the meeting with the reading of the minutes. We have our August 21st, 2023 meeting minutes. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve those minutes? Councilman Hart, thank you. Seconded by Councilwoman Baum. You guys jinxed me. All right, any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, there are 7 ayes.
I abstain.
Oh, you abstain? Okay, 6 ayes, 1 abstention because he wasn't here. And that leads us to decision on bids, which we have none. We have 1 communication. It's a East Penn Press vending box request. I don't know who that goes to. Does that just go to staff?
Yeah. Well,
Or
so
does that have to actually be approved?
So I will tell you that I wrote an initial response back to the library saying that, you know, my initial thoughts were no. They want to post it at the library as a vending box. My initial thoughts were no. However, that's not my decision to make as borough council. So I send it to what I would think probably Gen Ed would probably be the committee to send it to.
Yeah, I'm just curious what your reasoning for not allowing it.
Well, I mean, so how many? So now the Morning Call wants to put a vending box there, and now the Lehigh Valley Press wants to put something there, and now like where does it begin? Where does it end? Is really the question. So historically, you haven't allowed any of that in any of your facilities. So that's why my initial response was no. But again, not my decision.
I mean, all the
That's up to you
newspapers
guys.
are inside if somebody wants to read it. I'm assuming it's because somebody wants a copy because something's in it that they want.
They want to sell it, is what they want. They're trying to make money.
Okay.
This isn't a charity. Like,
All right, we'll send it to GA. We meet this Thursday, so.
I think Mr. Hart had a.
No, you're canceled this week.
Oh,
Yeah, you're canceled this week. Mr. Hard, I think, won the comment.
No, I have a question. I assume that there's a copy in the library,
right.
so selling is superfluous and unnecessary. Somebody wants to read it, they can read it in the library.
That's fine. We'll still send it to GA and give them an official response.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have a communication to bring forward? Hearing none, we have no borough engineers report, solicitors report.
Report
All right.
progress.
Unfinished business part 1, we have ordinance 1246. We had our first reading August 21st, and this is our second reading. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 15, subsection 601 and subsection 602.2 of the codified ordinances, amending several sections of the Borough of Emmaus parking regulations. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1246? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Balliet. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner,
Hi.
Councilman Anders,
Aye.
Councilman Ladenburg, aye. Councilman Dufresne,
Aye.
Councilman Hart,
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
There are 7 ayes, and ordinance 1246 passes on second reading. Under new business, we have ordinance 1248 for first reading. Second reading will be second meeting in our first meeting in
In October.
October, okay. and is an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 15, subsection 602.3.a of the Emmaus Borough Code, adding residential disabled parking sign and assigning permitted parking space on a public street located in front of the address of 414 Keystone Avenue within the Borough of Emmaus. Mr. Chairman, you want to add anything to this? All right, there's a motion to approve ordinance 1248. Is there a second? Councilman Dufresne? Discussion?
Yes, this request has been languishing in the Public Safety Committee as a result of several issues, one of which was incomplete healthcare information. That was provided to us after the borough manager and I met with the individual, and she indicated that she would get the additional information. She did provide that to us, and we felt it was more than satisfactory to recommend a disabled parking space for this individual.
All right. Any other questions or comments? This is a roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner.
Aye.
Councilman Anders.
Aye.
Councilman Lamberg, aye. Councilman Dufresne.
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
There are 7 ayes, passes on first reading, and like I said, the first reading will be the first meeting in October. There's no unfinished business part 2. Items not on the agenda. Yes.
I have an item to add to the agenda. I make a motion to add the removal of a volunteer from the Recreation and Entertainment Committee to our agenda.
There's a motion to add an agenda item for during a committee report. Is there a second? Councilman Anders, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. We'll get that at the committee report. Anybody else with the item not on the agenda? Oh, that has to be advertised tomorrow then, or not advertised,
No,
but
no.
posted?
So
We have to repost on the website tomorrow.
Shane within 24 hours, Shane will have to repost the agenda with the amendments stated for
Okay.
the Sunshine Act.
All right, Madam Mayor's report.
Thank you. I have nothing to report this evening. Progress.
Committee reports, Public Works Committee Chairman Anders.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing for official action this evening. I did want to acknowledge Councilman Balliet for reading my report last month as I was absent. So thank you, sir. And with that, our next meeting is Wednesday, September 27th at 4 p.m. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee Chairman Balliet.
Thank you, Mr. President. We don't have anything for official action tonight, but I will remind everyone again that our dumpster day event is going to be this September 16th, starting at 8 o'clock. With that, I'll report progress. Our next meeting is September 27th at 4:45.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 2 items for action. The first of which is the long-awaited hire of our Parks and Facilities Director. We had a lot of strong contenders, went through our 2 interview process, and it was a unanimous recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Committee to hire Jonathan White, who is here with us tonight, at a salary of $73,500 with 3 weeks vacation pending completion of background.
Motion
Put that in the form of a
placed by
motion.
Councilwoman Baumgartner. Is there a second? Councilman Hart, any discussion?
I'd like to add a start date of Monday.
He's planning to start September 11th.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be in your
No, it doesn't
motion,
need a
but
motion.
September 11th is our anticipated orientation.
All right. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Welcome aboard.
We're very
so-
excited to have.
Yeah, so just a couple comments on Jonathan. His resume is in your packet. Obviously a very impressive resume. He has been in charge of YMCA's. He's been in charge of a Parks and Recreation commission, which is not like our Parks and Recreation Commission. It's a bunch of municipalities and a school district, and he oversees the parks programming, the recreation programming for that. And he's been with them for a number of years. His entire education, his entire employment history is focused around parks and recreation. So we're extremely excited about the potential that Mr. White has to improve what we're trying to accomplish here. So welcome aboard, Jonathan. I look forward to, I'll give you a call this week to start filling out all that fun paperwork.
Sounds great. Thank you. I'm excited to start.
All right.
And thanks to this council for supporting this position. We know it's a new one, and we're excited for what we might have in store. So welcome aboard. The next item for official action is the one we just added, the removal of Recreation and Entertainment Commission member Bernadette Patterson. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Is there a second? Councilman Anders. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Our next meeting is listed incorrectly on the agenda. We actually met today, and our next meeting will be October 3rd at 4:45 p.m. And with that, I report progress.
Thank you. I just realized we had no press here. Is
We have one.
Oh,
we have Justin.
Justin. Oh. Wow. Just. Okay. I was just thinking they went to the wrong place. That's all.
No.
All right. Public Safety Committee, Chairman Hart.
Thank you, Mr. President. You already acted on my 2 ordinances. A third announcement and for action is in your packet. You can see under date of August 29th from the State Fire Commissioner, we were awarded a $100,000 grant to be applied to the fixing of the fire tower. And we are required to accept this amount if we need to get the check. So I'll make a motion that we accept the $100,000 check.
Motion by Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. My question was this expected that we were going for this, or is this what I would call a bonus that we got money that wasn't expected?
We pursued. Chief Price saw an opportunity there and pursued it. We didn't expect to get this amount by any means.
So this is a bonus.
So it's a bonus.
Because 62 applicants and 5 or 6 got money. That says something for us and how we applied.
Well, and the idea that it historically has been a regional training center and has been out of commission because, well, as we very publicly said before, another fire department damaged it. So I think there were a lot of reasons why it checked all the boxes for this grant opportunity. I think if it would have been something where only we use it and nobody else has used it, it would have probably been more difficult. But he did a very good job of putting it together and selling it.
And then one more question: was the original money to fund this new tower coming from the fire budget or from the general budget?
So as you might recall, first of all, we're not building a new tower. This is to repair the tower.
Right.
And we're still about $65,000 short. The sale of that trailer that they're living in right now will cover the remainder of the cost. So once we move back into Central Station and we sell the trailer, that'll cover the remainder of the cost.
Not only did we get this, though, this was actually the maximum grant that you could be awarded, correct?
Correct.
So we got the maximum in the grant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. That's fantastic. All those in favor accepting the $100,000, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
There's no further business from public safety. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 28th at 9 a.m. And with that, I report progress.
Thank you. Under general administration, I have nothing. And our next meeting of September 7th has been canceled. So that next meeting would be 2 weeks after that. So it'd be the 21st at 9 a.m. Progress. Budget and Finance Committee, Chairman Dufresne.
Thank you, Mr. President. In your packet, you can see the year-to-date budget performance, and we don't have to act on that. The next thing that we do have to act on is the bill list. So at Resolution 2023-24, resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the September 5th, 2023 bill list as follows. Bill list $439,843.32. Payroll number 17, $192,340.71. Payroll taxes, $60,174.61, for a total of $692,358.64. Done this 5th of September 2023, and I place that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne to approve the bill list. Is there a second? Councilman Hart. Any questions on the bill list? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Next, we have the significant revenue and expenses are in your packet. Our next meeting on September 7th is canceled also. So our next meeting will be Thursday, September 21st at 11 a.m. Progress.
All right, if I could just comment on the yearly budget performance. I was looking at the real estate tax revenue and the earned income tax revenue. And based on 8 months, which is 2/3 of the year, if we continue where we're going at this rate, real estate tax revenue will be 70,000 above what we projected, and earned income will be $500,000, $500,000 over what we projected.
So I wouldn't get too excited about the property tax, simply because we're now in the penalty. We're getting close to the penalty period in that. So we'll probably be a little less than that. I do think we're going to exceed the budget though. But I will agree with you though, that the earned income tax is exciting.
I'm referring to the real estate, the sales tax, the real estate sales.
Yeah, you just said real estate tax.
The transfer tax.
The transfer tax.
So what I meant.
So I will. So remember, we budgeted conservatively this year with that because we felt that the market was going to slow like everybody else said it was.
But the prices
we're still going in town. So
and
but the earned income tax, I agree. Like it's overperforming right now. It's which is good. That's saying that people are still, the economy's still moving.
And just a note also, the real estate transfer tax. I apologize getting that wrong, but we budgeted for slightly less than $1 million worth of sales per week, and just this past Sunday there were $3 million in sales, and it was only 9 properties.
Yeah,
and the most expensive one was $500,000, over $500,000, and they're not all from Indian Creek. There's now properties going for over $500,000 that are not in Indian Creek.
I don't know that you're seeing the quantity necessarily, but we're seeing the price really still jumping. Yeah.
So anyhow, I just wanted to point that out. That's good news that we're to the plus so far anyway. So, all right. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McMenamin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Committee notes are included in your packets, and please take note of the latest information on the formation of the Emmaus Historic Commission for the historic sites. More information as it comes. Our next meeting is Monday, September 25th at 4:30. I report progress.
Thank you. We have no boards and commission meeting notes. Personal appeals part 2. Anybody have a personal appeal? We have no one online.
No.
That leads to Borough Manager's report.
There's one item on your agenda that I would like you to vote on today. I've been working with the Public Works Union with Teamsters in regards to how to handle CDLs. So we pay for employees to get their CDLs. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania used to be very inexpensive in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to get your CDL. However, they changed the national law at the beginning of this year, as I've indicated to a couple of your committees, where you actually have to go to driving school now to get your CDL. Most of those schools are between $3,000 and $5,000, which obviously is a big budget constraint for us. So we needed to sit down and talk about how to prioritize who gets their CDL. It also kind of changes the way we're hiring a little bit too. So we've come up with a side letter of agreement with the Public Works Department that we feel is how the priority should be. And it starts with Obviously, if you're a new employee that doesn't have their CDO yet, if we hired you without it, we knew you didn't have it when we hired you. So we need to prioritize getting you that CDO within your probationary period. So they're number one. Number two would be individuals who the CDO, if you remember when we negotiated their last contract, we negotiated it in particular that you have to have your Class A to get to level 4. But now moving from Class B to Class A is still a $3,000 to $5,000 cost. So that's a roadblock, right? And a financial roadblock. So we prioritize that they would be second in terms of being prioritized to get them. And then lastly, it's anybody who beyond that, if you're already in Class 4 because you were grandfathered when we passed the original contract with this, and you wanted to get your CDO, then you would take kind of the last step of the precedence or priority, I mean. So that's how this is written, but we do need you to vote on it so that way we can make an official agreement.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement? Councilwoman McManaman, second by Councilman Anders. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Other than that, as you see, we're here. It's been a very long day for our entire Public Works Department and our staff, but the internet's up and running, the phones are up and running. Tomorrow will be that move-in kind of day for them. We still have some stuff that we still have to move from the other building. We still have stuff in storage that we have to go through. We've got a lot of moving parts. So the building will still be closed tomorrow for business, but we will be open for business on Thursday. If you guys after the meeting want to kind of take the little tour of the building and see what's going on, I don't want to hear that this place is a mess. I would hope you get that and understand that. But I will tell you that one of our architects is in the back of the room. They worked very hard. We're still working hard. There are some things that need cleaned up, fixed up. The details, right, are the things that they're working on now. But overall, things are great. Well, and I do want to point out this clock. Attorney Jack Stover donated this clock. This clock was actually hand carved from a gentleman in Emmaus. We'll give you the backstory on that later. But we felt when Attorney Stover was closing his office, he didn't have a place for this clock, and he called me and asked, "Hey, would we be interested in this?" And to me, like, there's history in that clock that this room is an appropriate room to put the clock in. So I think at some point maybe we'll bring, Mr. Stover in and do an appreciation kind of thing for him, and he can even maybe tell us the story on the clock. But I was more than thrilled to take it off of his hands. So that will be your official clock. It's not balanced yet. We got it in here. We have to put the weights in it. We have to balance it, but that'll be your new clock and I forget who it was that always had to wind up the old one, but it was Wes. So we're gonna have to call Wes Barrett up to wind the new clock. Yeah. But we do kind of also need to figure out where we're gonna put it in the room. I'm not sure if that's the spot or we want to put it in the back or.
Brent was on time a lot of times because of that clock.
Yeah. Well, we also started moving it ahead, right? The IT is working, as you see. So overall, it's come together. A lot has come together in the last couple of weeks. A lot of moving parts. Like I said, we still have some detailed stuff we have to get finished up, but overall, this building is in good enough shape that we're going to be able to move in and be here. Another snafu on the stinking elevator that I don't want to talk about, but the elevator's not up and running, which made today a little bit more of a challenge. And you'll see there's some heavy things that we did not get up or downstairs today. Couple other things though that you need to know about. We have, as you had said, dumpster day coming up. We also have a couple other events and meetings that are coming up as well that I will send you out notification for. Other than that, if you need me, don't call tomorrow, okay? Wait till Thursday. But we'd be more than happy if you want to come move boxes tomorrow. we'd be more than happy if you wanted to come move boxes.
Shane,
tomorrow.
will you have the elevator tomorrow?
No.
Is it out for a while or?
So one of the issues was we had to get everything powered up. We had to get a POTS phone line in. There were a number of things that we had to do. And when they tested it and did the inspection, they found that it needs a new control panel in it. So they had to order a new control panel because it's setting off all sorts of crazy alarms, and you push one button, it goes one way and not the other. So they had to order a new control panel. We also later this week they'll be doing the line striping, in the parking lot. Quite honestly, we don't want people parking in the parking lot right now anyway. It's 100 degrees out and it's soft. I moved in over the weekend, and so when I came here, there was a guy with an Armetis delivery sign doing circles in our parking lot, and you can see where he actually did damage to the parking lot because it's too soft. So that's why you see the parking cones out across the parking lot. The fire station, I believe, 2 weeks. That sound right, Joel? 2 weeks is our anticipated move for them. So I'm excited about that because that building is looking really, really neat as well. I think we did a really good job with design. Again, we're finishing up some things like the concrete's curing. They're finishing up some of the fire suppression, all that kind of stuff is getting kind of sealed up in there. So they'll be moving in a couple weeks. We do have a ribbon cutting ceremony for them in late October. We will schedule one for us at some point in that time range between now and the beginning of November as well. We do have a display board that's ordered. If you go down in the bottom lobby, you'll see they started cutting the electric and the data for that today. So that'll be nice for, as I've told our staff, I don't want to see stuff taped to the windows anymore. So we will have it on display board. People are already trying to book the John Hart Memorial Conference Room.
Memorial.
Yeah, it's going to be in remembrance of John Hart because he's leaving here in a couple months.
Good save.
Yeah, good save, right.
Well, then we almost lost John, after he designed it. But so we have that. That's already, people are already wanting to book that, so that's exciting. You all have your key fobs. There's certain doors that they get into, certain doors they don't get into. And other than that, we're excited to be here. So I'll give you guys the little tour after the meeting here if you want it. And yeah, it's been a busy couple weeks. Progress.
I have nothing under president's business, but I did observe it. I think it's brighter in here. And I like the colors. It just looks nice in here. And the air conditioning is much cooler in here. Those are the two things.
Toilets flush.
Maybe it looks more open because the curtains aren't up there. It makes it look more open. I don't know. It's bigger. Yeah. Looks bigger. Yeah. So anyhow, there is no executive session, so I will ask for a motion to Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Balliet. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the meeting adjourned at 6:40.
For your first meeting here.